One of the questions I'm often asked, and the topic I've been given today to talk to you about, is how to become a better business leader. And I remember when I was first asked to make this talk, I remember straight away a book I read a number of years ago called Good to Great. It was written by Jim Collins, and it was based on a piece of research where he tried to identify what was it that made good companies great. So companies that had underperformed for a long period of time suddenly began to perform way ahead of market expectations. What was it? What transformed it? What changed? Was it some cataclysmic event? Was it a new product or whatever? What was it? What changed the company? And it's interesting. The results that they found were not all, I suppose, what we expected. It really came down to the concept of leadership. And not leadership, though, as we would, again, typically define it. When we think of leadership or a business leader, we tend to think of a larger-than-life personality. Think of Jack Welch in GE, those kind of people we think of. But that's not what they found. They found something quite different. And I'm going to quote here. What makes a great company? Good to great companies hired self-disciplined people, people who didn't need to be managed, people who had the discipline of thought to confront reality, to confront the facts and deal with them, and still maintain faith that they would prevail, and so had the discipline to actually do what the actions, to take the action, do what was necessary to take the company forward. So it's disciplined people, disciplined thinking, and disciplined action. Okay, so we're talking about becoming a better business leader. And specifically, we're talking about the ideas in Jim Collins' book, Good to Great. And his ideas are simple, and they are as follows. I'm going to run through them first, and then I'll describe them. The first is level 5 leadership. The second is first who, then what. The third is confronting the brutal facts. The fourth is the hedgehog concept. The fifth is a culture of discipline. The sixth is technology accelerators. And the last one, the seventh, is the flywheel and the doom loop. Okay, the first one. Level 5 leadership. Leadership, as we understand it, typically, is somebody out front with a flag, leading the charge, saying, following me. That's not what level 5 leadership is. It's a combination, as I said, of personal humility and professional will. The level 5 leader typically shuns celebrity. The focus of attention is not on himself. The focus of attention is on the company and the business. He expresses himself through the growth and development of the business. He's a classic servant leader. As a consequence, he typically sets up his successors for success, so that when he leaves the company, there is a stream of talent coming along behind him to carry the company forward. Many of the people that we typically classify as the great leaders in business, when they leave, their share price collapses and the company with it. Good to great leaders build enduring companies with enduring quality people. It's not about them, it's about the business. I have a great little sentence here I want to read to you. It says, modesty, self-effacing and understated. They are seemingly ordinary people quietly producing extraordinary results. So, becoming a better business leader. We said the first criteria from Jim Collins' book, Good to Great, is level 5 leadership. This combination of personal humility and professional will. The second is first who, then what. Interestingly, when we think of great companies, we automatically assume that they developed some super strategy or plan and then marshaled resources and rallied people around them and everybody got behind the plan and they drove forward. That's not in fact what Jim Collins found. What they found was quite the opposite. They found that these companies got the right people on the bus first, got them in the right seats, typically got the wrong people off the bus, and then, and only then, did they agree where the bus was going. So, it wasn't about developing a strategy and rallying people around it. It was about getting the right people on the bus, in the right seats, the wrong people off the bus, and then agreeing what the strategy was, then agreeing what the way forward was. On the simple premise that if you have the good people around you, they will help you formulate the strategy. If you have the bad people around you, no matter how good your strategy is, it'll never deliver, it'll never work. Again, another lovely expression here. Inject an endless stream of talent into the veins of the company. This is sort of a theme that came out throughout the book. That these good to great leaders, they identified quality people, great people, and they hired them. And they inject them into the company on the simple basis that they knew how hard it was to get good people, and they brought the right people into the company. They would formulate strategy, they would find ways of doing it. They would lift the game, if you wish, of the company. And of course, it would be self-disciplined people who didn't need to be managed. The next point, I think important point, or point idea in the book, is this idea of confronting brutal facts. And that's really about disciplined thinking. Face current reality diligently, and decisions often become self-evident. Create a culture where people can be heard. Build red flag mechanisms that turn information into information that cannot be ignored. Lead with questions, not answers. Retain absolute faith that you will prevail. I remember years ago hearing Tony O'Reilly speak, and he just made a comment. The comment was, give me the facts. The good facts, the bad facts, and the ugly facts. Give me the facts, I can deal with the facts. And one of the things I think that these good to great companies really do well is they confront brutal reality. They absolutely step up and they deal with the facts. They're not in denial. So disciplined people with disciplined thinking, dealing with reality, and then ask the question, okay, this is where we are, right here, right now. Here's the situation, the facts, getting the best information, dealing with the facts, and now what do we do to move forward? Fourth concept, or the fourth idea, this idea of the hedge. The fox attacks the hedgehog. The fox knows many things, he's very wily, very wise, very cute. The hedgehog knows one thing, how to curl up into a ball. That's all he knows. So the fox comes, he attacks the hedgehog curls up into a ball. And the fox tries all his tricks, attacking him, cajoling him, flattering him. Nothing works. The hedgehog stays curled up in a ball. And eventually the fox, with all the things he knows, with all his tricks, walks away, and the hedgehog wins. And the case to make here is the Hedgehog Company always wins. And it's a very, very simple concept. I mentioned it to you earlier. And the concept is this. An area of passion intersected with an area where you can be the best in the world at, really world class at, intersected with a third circle, which is an economic driver. So you have this point of intersection between the passion, the world class ability, and an economic driver. And that little point of intersection where the three of them overlap is called the hedgehog. And the hedgehog is that one area where you focus the organisation. And unlike the fox, who sees the world in all its complexity and every opportunity that's presented to it, and grabs opportunities as they're presented to it, and is always moving in different directions, the hedgehog company evaluates everything in the light of the hedgehog concept. So is this going to support our hedgehog or not? Is this going to move us forward or not? And what it does is narrows and narrows and narrows its focus. And every time something opportunity presents itself, it says, is that going to help or hinder? If it's not going to help, it's going to hinder. We don't waste any time on it. And so it cuts businesses, it cuts activities, it cuts people. It cuts things that aren't going to move the hedgehog forward. Very, very powerful concept. Indeed, it's a concept that we use at a personal level. We can say, what do I really enjoy doing? What am I really, really skillful at? Where I can really be world class. They're not necessarily the same thing. We all know people who really enjoy playing the guitar. They're never going to make a living from it. So what do I really enjoy doing? Where I really have a passion, a real interest? And the best way to identify that, by the way, is to ask you, what do you spend your time doing? When you have free time, what do you spend it on? What can I be world class at? So within that space of passion, is there something I do, some skill I have where I can be world class? And how can I make a buck out of it? How can I actually build a business out of it? So this hedgehog concept applies at a personal level as well. And once you understand what it is, you evaluate everything in that context. And allows you to be very, very clear, very, very focused, and to move forward. The next concept is called a culture of discipline. And it's interesting. I've just going to read from the text here. People taking self-disciplined action in fanatical adherence to the hedgehog concept. People taking self-disciplined action in fanatical adherence to the hedgehog concept. And he makes the point that bureaucracy arrived to compensate from having the wrong people on the bus. The key here is understanding the hedgehog concept. If you have the right people on the bus, self-disciplined, self-motivated, driven people, and they all agree what the hedgehog is, well, then what's required is a culture of discipline, a fanatical adherence to the hedgehog and discarding everything else. If it doesn't adhere to the hedgehog, if it doesn't drive it forward, then you don't do it. So a culture, a disciplined culture, because opportunities present themselves all the time. The enemy of the great is the good. There are many, many good things. The enemy of the great is the good. So you can see things that are good opportunities, they're useful opportunities, they're things you feel you should be doing, but in fact, they're not going to advance the hedgehog, they're not great. So a culture of discipline allows you to evaluate things in the context of your hedgehog and say, no, that is not going to advance our cause, and you drop it. Two last ideas. One's technology acceleration, and the last one is the flywheel and the doom loop. The technology acceleration is very, very simple. The idea is that you only use technology, and you do use technology, but you only use technology to drive your hedgehog forward. You do not get involved in technology for the sake of technology, which is a huge weakness in the world today. And the last one is the flywheel, the doom loop. And this one of my favourites, because I suffer from it myself. Again, the hedgehog concept links in very, very closely to this. I want you to imagine a large millstone, huge millstone. I mean, I'm sure you've all seen big granite stones with a handle in it. And you start pushing it. And slowly but surely you push it, you turn it. And you start to get some movement, it builds up some momentum. Very, very hard to push at the beginning, but slowly it picks up speed, slowly. And eventually, of course, the thing is spinning, and you can turn it with one finger. That's the concept of building up momentum. Many companies who focus on their hedgehog and have the patience and discipline to hang in there, build up this momentum, and this momentum becomes self-fulfilling. It attracts quality people into it who can see where the machine is going, who can see where the ship is going, and they get excited about it. Other companies, those who suffer from the doom loop failing, they push, they try to turn the millstone, they get it going very, very slowly, very, very hard, and they say, this isn't working, we'll try something else, and they start a new one. This isn't working, they'll try something else, start a new one. And that's the doom loop. They keep trying and say, no, this isn't working, kill this, we'll change. So those are the thoughts I have for you on becoming a business leader or a better business leader. It was really a summary of that great book, Good to Great, by Jim Collins. Thank you.